The Horizon Realms update for Forza Horizon 5 arrived just over a week ago, coinciding with the release of the game on PlayStation, and bringing with it 4 new cars, a new paid car pack, and the new Realms game mode, as well as a new circuit in the stadium. So after a bit more time playing it, I'm going over my experience of Realms so far, and my thoughts after playing it for a little bit longer. As I'm sure is the case for many of you, when the Realms update was released, I wanted to obtain all 4 of the new prize vehicles as quickly as possible. One of these, the Lamborghini Revuelto, was pretty easy to get hold of. This just required you to win a race around the new Horizon Stadium circuit. The other cars, however, required us to complete realms in skill mode. The Mammoth just required you to complete 1 realm in skill mode, the Lotus 6, and the Lamborghini Huracan Starato, all 12 of them. Skill mode has a 5-minute duration, so to complete all 12 you're looking at an hour, plus loading in and out of them. I soon discovered that skill mode, particularly at the racetrack, is quite tedious. At the racetrack you can only really drift to earn points, and foolishly, as it was the first realm I had entered, I took an A-class tuned Lotus Emira, which although is a great race car, was very boring to earn skill points in. A Formula Drift car, for example, would have been a much better choice. I was also slightly worried that this track would be a bit too tight before the update released, and even in this A-Class Lotus, it did feel like it would be better in slower vehicles. I probably thought best with B-Class or below at this point, although having raced it in a few faster cars since then, I'm not sure this is an issue. I particularly enjoyed racing an S1 class Vantage GT12 around here. For the next couple of realms I tried Koigsegs. The Retro Wave Highway, I could do some speed, destruction and drift skills, which was a slightly more interesting experience. Here though, the boundaries meant you couldn't make the most of the highway though, which was kind of a shame. You couldn't really get up to speed even in these Koigsegs. I was kind of surprised when I realised the maps were quite so small. For some reason when it was first announced, I assumed that each realm would be the whole map. Not really any reason why, they just didn't say otherwise, so that's what I thought. The other one I tried in a Koigseg was the oval track, which wasn't much better than the other track for variety of skills, making it another rather long 5 minutes. The Koigseg here was again maybe a mistake, and something more sideways inclined would have suited it better. I finally opted for a Formula Drift car for a go at skill mode around the coffee shop, which was much more enjoyable than any of the previous ones. I then decided to take an S1 class Wuling into the Summer Stadium, which was by far the most entertaining one. I spent most of the time sideways and smashing into things, but also leapt about a fair bit on the jumps, resulting in by far the largest score, and the first skill score I had of over 500,000. Not that I'm really interested in the skill score, because it's a rather pointless thing to be trying to achieve. I then got back into a Koigseg for the 6th realm at the Neon Airfield, and after that back to Formula Drift cars again at the Lunar New Year Drift Stadium, this time opting for the BMW Z4 Coupe Drift car. This was actually quite good to slide about, and it was nice to see some of these worlds return. Always seemed like a bit of a waste to just have them for a single month and then disappear. I then took another Formula Drift car to the Dia de Muertos map at Moulahay. Going into the stadium maze, I carried on this Formula Drift theme. This went well for a while, despite it being so narrow, as I started out pretty cautiously. I then went for a jump down into the maze, rolling the car, but somehow keeping the skill chain. I think this made me a bit too overconfident though, because from then on I kept losing any decent skill chains that I had going, so this ended up as a bit of a disaster. Despite this, I stuck to drift cars going into the next realm as well, the Winter Wonderland, which was more of the same sort of thing really. This one was present for a couple of weeks over Christmas in 2024, so it's not actually been all that long since it was last here anyway. I used yet another drift car for the Stunt Park, which was in the main map even more recently than the Winter Wonderland, disappearing actually on the day that Realms update released. For the final realm on the ice rink, I also opted for a Formula Drift car, this time a Maloo, which turned out to be challenging. Although I was sort of drifting, it didn't seem to be really getting any skill score, so this last one was a bit of a fail, to be honest. It did mean I had completed all of them and unlocked all 4 of the new cars though, so I didn't really mind too much by this point. Since unlocking the new cars, a group of us have headed into free play in the stadium maze for some mini-games and general messing about, and we have also completed quite a number of races around the New Horizon Stadium circuit. I'm pretty sure the developers also said that the new track would be added into the cycle of online race routes, however I am yet to have it come up when I've been racing online. Although skill mode in itself was rather tedious, it was kind of nice to have a fresh way to unlock the new cars rather than doing the same old playlist, although I'm not sure this was the best way to do it either, really, and I'm not sure why I would return to any of these realms after I've completed the accolades required to unlock the cars. Even if I was to ever return, it would only ever be in free mode. The skill mode I find rather pointless and quite uninteresting. It is also kind of a shame that they are such small maps. I think mostly just because I assumed it would be the whole map, so I was slightly disappointed when I found out it wasn't. I'm not sure the maps being larger though would make me return to any of them anyway, so I'm not sure in the end it really matters. One other slight annoyance is that each realm has a set time of day that cannot be changed when you load in, and in addition to this, in an event if you go into photo mode, you can't then change the time of day for photos, which makes taking pictures in these returning locations rather limited. Quite a niche problem, but still annoying. I suppose if anything it's just kind of nice for the new players on PlayStation to be able to load into these realms and get a glimpse of some of the evolving world locations that they missed out on. But other than that, I can't really see what the Realms feature has added to this game. Even if I wanted a different location to drive around in and maybe take some photos, there were plenty of far better Event Lab creations that I could go into before even considering returning to Realms. All in all, it's not been a bad update, just the Realms part of it has seemed rather irrelevant, really. There have been 3 great cars added, and a 6-wheeled big thing, and after racing the new track quite a bit, I also think that that was a great addition to Forza Horizon 5. As ever though, do let me know your thoughts on the Horizon Realms update, but for today's video that is going to be all, so thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next one very soon.